honestly, I don't want us to have it.
I've told you where the vehicle is.
The truck was actually coming from Ring Road. It missed a step. So as it was trying to gather itself, it fell.
What we are witnessing these days, it is something we can no longer understand.
They should stop telling us and promising us all those promises are fake, giving us details of promises are fake. We don't want it anymore.
A very good evening and thank you for joining us on BeeTv Major News at 6, reaching you live from the Edo State capital, Benin City. I am Godgift Omone. Now the news in details. Residents in Benin City have urged the Edo State government to enforce a law against trading on walkways, stating that the practice poses serious risks to traders as they are too close to the road and also hinders pedestrian movement by altering the purpose of the walkways. BeeTv News Osaroge Agwebo reports that the residents made the call following the rampant conversion of several walkways around the Benin metropolis into trading grounds.
The price that is given to those that are having stores inside are too much. You understand? So if the price is too much and they are not getting customer inside, they would like to come out.
The trend of traders converting walkways around the Benin metropolis into trading grounds, especially the city center, has become an alarming and eyesore to the state, as walkways constructed for pedestrian movement are now filled with traders displaying all kinds of goods. However, residents of Benin City said the trend is not a sign of development to the state. They said some traders do not have a market, that is why they are trading on the walkways, noting that the practice poses serious risk to the traders as they are too close to the road and hinders pedestrian movement by altering the purpose of the walkways. They urge the government to look into the issue, thereby constructing more markets for traders to take them out of the walkways and then enforce.
Many reasons why I said this something. Number one, it can cause accidents, and such accident can lead to untimely death. And so, by what I perceive or observe, is not good enough for one to walk on walkway. It's better to walk or to do business inside the market.
Firstly, it's not something that is welcome. For somebody to be trading on the walkway, it means they don't even understand why they should be trading on the walkway. Anything can just happen to them. Accidents or something that is unexpected that they didn't even bargain for. So my take on this is that the people trading on walkway should avoid trading on the walkway because they call it the pedestrian way. It's only for the leg to walk through that way, and it's not for trading.
I believe they are breaking the rules of the state. So the best thing they have to do is they have to tell them one way or the other to make sure they quit out of the walkway. The walkway is made for trekking, for those that are trekking.
The residents added that some traders have stores inside the market but choose to leave their shops to trade on the walkways, noting that with proper enforcement by the government against street trading and walkway trading, it would help stop the menace.
And what I suggested government to do is for them to look forward to create space inside the market so that people who are walking on the walkway can as well be asked to go inside the market to do their business. Apart from that one, it's like they will still continue to work on walkway if that terrible environment is not created in the market.
The government can really do a lot to really sensitize the people from not trading on the walkway by telling them the dangers that are associated with trading on the walkway.
Walkway trading is not only a risk to traders but also a defacement to the state. Although the Edo State government through associations like the Professional Drivers on Way is making effort to curb the trend, it is hoped that the government will intensify efforts to curb the menace. Osaroge Agwebo reporting for BeeTv News.
The Edo State Ministry of Works says despite the rains, The state government is poised to deliver on promise made to Edo people in the area of infrastructure. The Public Relations Officer, Hereta Olotu Omonowa, in the ministry led a team of newsmen on an inspection of the ongoing Benin Sapele Road for journalists to get first-hand information on the progress of work. BeeTv News senior reporter Bess Orito reports that the critical infrastructural project, a flagship initiative of Governor Monday Okpebholo's administration, aims to significantly improve connectivity and ease the burden on motorists and residents in the region.
During the inspection, the Public Relations Officer, Ministry of Works, Edo State, Mrs. Henrietta Olotu Omonuwa, highlighted the substantial progress that has been recorded on the road as construction work was ongoing from the Limit Road Junction to Ajib Junction and other areas. The project manager, Yusuf Onifade, said the rain is one major challenge they are facing, which has slowed down construction work. He also stated that the length of the work is 23 kilometers and that very soon they should be done with the project.
Actually, we are trying so hard on our side to make sure the project is complete soon as possible. But one of the major challenges we are facing right now is the rainfall. And you can see the weather right now is just about to rain again, and these are the things that are slowing down our work. So right now, our stone wear we've covered up to 2.2 kilometers, but now our concrete is about 1 kilometer by 5 meters. At the end of the project, we tend to achieve a good, well-maintained road that is motorable for the society.
At Ogege community along the Sapele Road bypass, the team met men and equipment on the ground as construction work was also ongoing in the hydraulic structures to convey water from the Ogege exit via the old Sapele Road and all the other sub-areas down to the discharge point. The project manager, Ademola Adekule, in an interview said they needed to start from the discharge point so that it can channel water from various adjoining streets down to the discharge point. He said they're working under the rain to deliver the project on schedule.
What we are doing right now, we are working on the hydraulic structures to convey water from the Ogege axis via the old Sapele Road and all the other suburbs. So what we intend doing, because the rain has started already, we are focusing on the hydraulic structures so that we started from the discharge point. If you can see down there, we have the 3 cells covered, bus covered, that conveys water across the old Sapele Road. The new Sapele Road, past the old Sapele Road, down to the discharge point. So what we are doing now, we started this from this discharge point for a reason. If we start from this old road, the Ogege Road, there is no way we can convey the runoff from that side down to the discharge point. So we need to start from the discharge point so that as we are moving up, it will collect water from various streets, adjoining streets, down to the discharge point. So that's what we are working on. And so far, as you can see, we are working on the walls, then to cover it because it's an underground canal. We still have the surface drain coming on top. So that's what we are working on right now. When we have a weather like this, at least we have a slow pace of work, but not minding the weather, we are working.
Meanwhile, at the Catholic Charismatic Renewal Road, Ekewa, and Palace Road, Ute, residents of the area applauded the Edo State government and Governor Monday Okpebholo for the ongoing road construction in their areas and for taking the project as a concern to aid the movement of human and vehicular movement. They, however, appealed for speedy completion of the project. At Catholic Charismatic Renewal Road, Chairman Road Planning Committee, Asaba appealed for the flood in the area to be channeled to Ogba River to ease movement in the area.
So so first of all, we take the governor for this project. There's no much space so that the contractor will create other diversions. We will still reach our destination before, but even at that, we still manage the road.
I have my business here on Palace Road. We really want to appreciate the governor for remembering us in this area, and we really We really appreciate the good work he's doing. And the contractors are doing a great job. We see them working day and night. And we pray that they get a good weather to facilitate the job going on. But the only thing we want to beg is if the governor should look for any way, anything that he needs to do for them to help facilitate and quicken the work that is going on here, because there are a lot of hardship going on the streets because people could not access their roads and the business going on. They are almost on lockdown. We hardly get sales on a daily basis. So we appreciate the work and we understand we are going to enjoy this. But as much as we are going to enjoy it, we will appreciate if there is any way they could quicken the work.
The Edo State Ministry of Work is also planning to inspect ongoing road construction in other parts of the state, such as Ikiro-Oke, Ikakumo Road in Edo North, which was initiated by the former administration of Godwin Obaseki and completed by Senator Monday Okpebholo, as well as the construction of 3.5-kilometer length of internal roads in Ugiada Village, South Ibe, Esako West local government area, where the clearing of the site has been done.
People benefits. Democracy where people that are voiceless are given voice. All the farm produce now can get to the market.
Best Orator reporting for BeeTv News.
The All Progressives Congress in Edo State APC has announced the convocation of a high-level South-South summit aimed at consolidating its political vision under the Renewed Hope agenda and charting a strategic pathway for the party's future across the South-South geopolitical zone. Leaders of the party across the zones will be attending the summit. BeeTv News Best Orator has more.
The summit is slated for Saturday, 5th July 2025 at the Victor Wifo Creative Hub with the theme Renewed Hope in Action, Strengthening APC Mobilization and Governance in the South-South is expected to serve as a unifying platform for policy dialogue, political recalibration and regional reawakening within the framework of the party's national objectives. The APC extends a formal invitation to all distinguished assembly of party stakeholders comprising both current and former office holders from the South-South region. These include serving and past governors, deputy governors, members of the National Assembly, ministers, and key figures from the party's National Executive Committee and National Working Committee. Also invited are state-level leaders, including the APC chairman, Imperial Jared Tinebe, the state secretary, Engineer Lawrence Oka, serving in former speakers of Edo State House of Assembly, federal political appointees from the region, as well as former and current zonal and state officers of the party, including youth leaders and secretaries. Party sources indicate that the summit will provide an opportunity to assess the party's structural cohesion in the South-South, reflect on current electoral dynamics, and formulate a forward-looking blueprint to strengthen the APC's presence and political influence in the zone. The South-South summit will also deliberate on mechanisms for deepening grassroots engagement, enhancing intra-party unity, and delivering tangible democratic dividends to citizens of the region. The convocation of such a wide spectrum of leadership underscores the party's commitment to inclusive dialogue, strategic consensus building, and the mobilization of experience across generations of APC leadership in the South-South. As the region remains a critical frontier in Nigeria's political colossal, the summit is expected to generate robust conversations around party consolidation, governance priorities, and the strategic repositioning of the APC ahead of future electoral cycles. Best Orator reporting for BeeTv News.
While the talk about the coalition is ongoing, there's still a glare of defection to the APC in the country. Now, 7 members of the House of Representatives have defected to the All Progressives Congress. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajide, announced their defection in separate letters to the legislators. Now, 6 of the defectors are from the People's Democratic Party, led by the Chairman House Committee on Bureau of Public Procurement. Emmanuel Udo from Young Progressives Party, YPP, also pitched his stance with the APC. The lawmakers cite internal party crisis, fractionalization, and some irreconcilable differences as reasons for their defection. However, Minority leader Kingsley Chinda raised objections to their defections.
Escalating internal crisis in the PDP, especially regarding the office of the National Secretary, where some party officials currently lay claim to, and other irreconcilable differences have caused me to review my membership of the party.
Let me put it on record that where there is division within a party, the highest court of the land has ruled to interpret what that means. And as we speak today, it will be unlawful, it will be out of place, it will be inappropriate to conclude that the People's Democratic Party has a division in the eyes of the law within the party.
The Director General of the Directorate for Education, Quality and Accountability, Dr. Ame Ogbemudia, and her management team on Friday paid a courtesy visit to the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Edo State, Honorable Dr. Samson Osage, at his office in Benin City, Edo State. The purpose of the visit was to formally inform the Honorable Attorney General of her assumption of office as the Director General and seek collaboration with the Ministry of Justice in establishing a strong legal framework to guide the operations of the Directorate in the quality educational system in the state. The report. The delegation led by the Director General herself, Dr. Ame Ogbemudia Wongo, alongside her management team, paid a courtesy visit to the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Honorable Samson Osage. The Director General expressed appreciation to the Honorable Attorney General for receiving the delegation and gave a brief overview of the mandate of the Directorate, which includes monitoring, evaluation, and enforcement of standards across the education sector in Edo State. She emphasized the need for legal backing to ensure the sustainability and effectiveness of the Directorate's functions. Accordingly, the Director General sought the support of the Ministry of Justice in reviewing existing policies, identifying gaps, and assisting with the drafting of necessary legal instruments to strengthen the Directorate's legal and operational foundation.
This visit is not just official, it is personal. It is a step forward in a journey that holds the future of education in our hearts. And I'm honored that we are walking that journey with a leader like you, principled, educated, visionary, and a wavering commitment to the rule of law and the institutional growth. Since assuming office as the Director General of Directorate, Education Quality and Accountability, I've witnessed firsthand how your office has done quietly but powerfully to support the institution by putting the instrument forward for the establishment bill.
In his response, the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Dr. Samson Osage, congratulated her on her appointment by Governor Monday Okpebolo. He acknowledged the critical role of the Directorate in ensuring quality education across the state and assured of the ministry's readiness to collaborate. He stated that the Ministry of Justice is available to provide legal guidance, policy input, and legislative drafting support as required, as it is the code of good governance under the Governor Senator Monday Okpebolo.
We will assist to make sure that we bring about a legislation that will formalize this organization as an agency of government set up by law. And we are already in the process of doing that right now.
Both parties agreed to establish a formal line of communication between their offices and committed to working together to develop a legal framework that will support and enhance the functions of the Directorate of Education and Quality Assurance. The meeting ended on a positive note with assurances of mutual cooperation going forward. Gosgift Omone reporting for BeeTv News. Amid ongoing rainfall across the states and Nigeria in general, residents have been warned against the indiscriminate dumping of refuse in erosion and flood channels to avert flooding. Authorities say the practice is not only harmful to the environment but also poses serious risks to lives and property during whenever it rains. The reports.
Waste materials such as nylon, construction debris and household trash have been observed clogging natural and man-made drainage systems in the streets of Benin City. These blockages reduce the flow of rainwater, resulting in flooding, road damage and increased erosion, especially in areas with weak topsoil. Officials have consistently urged residents to dispose of their waste properly by using designated dump sites and waste collection services. Residents praising the state government on the efforts in the curbing of the heavy erosion as the rainy season intensifies. They also recognize that despite the government's efforts, it is also a collective call for concern and unity work in strengthening the efforts of the governor, Senator Monday Okpebolo.
Under this current government, there is a big improvement when it comes to cleanliness in Edo State. Our wonderful governor, Senator Apoti is doing a very good job in that regard. I have to be very truthful with you.
The fact that this season, some people are not taking care of their water very well, which eventually causes water loss in the area. And some people, we find out pouring corn wraps on the gutter, which is very bad. Thirdly, children should take care of their kids very well. Make sure they escort them to their schools, to their various schools, not leave it there alone to fall into gutters or potholes. They should escort their children to the school.
If you look at it very well, the citizens are the problem, not the government. The drainage, who is messing up? We the citizen. Drink pure water, you throw it into the drainage. Drink can, every can inside the drainage. But the government is doing the best. Now look at Ring Road here. They've tried to remove the cover, remove all the rubbish from the drainage. Government is doing their own part, but the citizens, we are the problem, not the government.
As the rains intensify across Edo State, the dangers posed by clogged erosion and flood channels cannot be overstated. The indiscriminate dumping of refuse in these vital water pathways not only undermines the government's ongoing erosion control efforts, but also places entire communities at risk of flooding, environmental degradation, and loss of property. The observations from Benin City highlight a pressing need for behavioral change among residents who must now recognize that waste management is a collective responsibility, while the state government under Governor Senator Monday Okpebolo has made commendable strides in tackling erosion and strengthening drainage infrastructure. These efforts will only yield lasting results if they are complemented by active public participation. Residents are therefore urged to maintain clean surroundings, use designated dump sites, and report illegal waste disposal. By doing so, the public contributes directly to protecting the environment, supporting government initiatives, and ensuring the safety and well-being of all. In these critical months of heavy rainfall, unity of purpose, environmental discipline, and community vigilance remain key to prevent disasters and building a resilient, cleaner Edo State. Gosgift Omone reporting for BeeTv News.
A federal high court in Abuja on Friday ruled that the Nigerian Senate acted beyond its powers by suspending Senator Natasha Apoti Idaga for 6 months, ordering her immediate recall to the Red Chamber. Justice Binta Nwako, who delivered the judgment, described the duration of the suspension as excessive and without a clear legal foundation. According to the court, both Chapter 8 of the Senate Standing Orders and Section 14 of the Legislative House Powers and Privileges Act, which the upper chamber relied upon, do not stipulate a maximum suspension period. As such, they were deemed overreaching in this case. The judge pointed out that since the National Assembly is only required to sit for 181 days in a legislative year, suspending a lawmaker for ruling that same length of time effectively silences the voice of an entire constituency, a move she described as unconstitutional. However, the court sided with Senate President Godswill Akpabio on a separate issue, stating that his refusal to allow Apoti Idaga to speak during a preliminary on the grounds that she was not seated in her designated chair did not amount to a violation of her rights. Nwanko also dismissed Akpabio's argument that the judiciary had no business interfering in what he called an internal affair of the legislature, stating that fundamental rights and representation are matters squarely within the court's purview. In a twist, the court imposed a 5 million monetary penalty on Apoti Idaga for breaching a prior court directive that barred both parties from making public statements about the ongoing legal matter. The Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, has called on members of the new opposition coalition targeting President Bola Tinubu administration to stop exploiting public sentiment. He says only the People's Democratic Party is capable of mounting a credible challenge in a 2027 election. He said this during his monthly media chat in Abuja. He also criticized the coalition's narrative that Nigerians are angry and need rescuing, describing it as his leading figures as part of the same political establishment that failed the country in the past. He argued that these politicians only acknowledge Nigerians' frustrations now that they are out of power. Mr. Wike also pointed out the improvements in the state revenues and infrastructure under President Tinubu's leadership.
When you want to go to power, tell us.
A teeming crowd of stakeholders that gathered to welcome her took time to plead with Plateau citizens to let go of their differences, unite and fight their common enemy. A donation of 1 billion naira and 1,800 bags of parboiled rice was handed over to the state government by the First Lady as her support to the victims of the attacks and vulnerable citizens in the state.
I came to appeal to the traditional leaders because you are the custodian of the land. We as office holders will come finish our term, we leave. But you are there. We want you to bring peace to the land. And God will help you, and God will keep this land and bless it. It will flourish in Jesus' name, and Nigeria will grow in leaps and bounds. My prayer has always been for Nigeria to be among the committee of nations, and you can see that beginning to happen. But with news like this is not good for Nigeria. God will help all of us. So I came in with me with a donation from the Renewed Hope Initiative, 1 billion.
We want to thank you for allowing God to use you as an instrument to add to the desire for peace on the plateau. I want to pledge on behalf of the leaders of Plateau that we will not hold back. We will pursue peace with all men until God brings us a relief. And therefore want to thank you for this very generous donation. And I want to take full responsibility that no kobo will be misused.
The state governor, Caleb Mofang, on behalf of the government and people of the state, thanked the First Lady for the kind gesture and assured that the money will be channeled to the rightful beneficiaries. Gosgift Omone reporting for BeeTv News. The Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy is intensifying efforts to harness Nigeria's maritime potential for economic growth and sustainability at its second quarter Citizens and Stakeholders Engagement meeting in Lagos. Key players from government, coastal communities, and the private sector gathered to strengthen collaboration on the National Blue Economy agenda. The report. The event themed Strengthening Collaboration for Effective Implementation of the National Policy on Marine and Blue Economy highlighted the need for synergy in unlocking the country's vast marine resources.
The rollout of this policy must be cross-sectorial, collaborative, and data-driven. Global trends have shown that effective citizen engagement and shared ownership of public policies yield better development outcomes. In a world facing complex, interconnected challenges, the voices of citizens and stakeholders are essential for driving innovation, ensuring transparency, and enhancing the legitimacy of government actions.
This engagement, therefore, presents an opportunity to deepen institutional synergy, clarify mandates, align regulatory expectations, and jointly explore practical and actionable strategies for implementation.
Stakeholders emphasize priorities like policy alignment, infrastructure development, port modernization, and ease of doing business.
Nigeria loses over $9 billion annually due to under-enforcement of the Cabotage Act. This is an economic and patriotic emergency.
The Norwegian Seafood Council has been trying to ensure that the ban on Nigeria's aquaculture products for international trade is vacated. For some time now, we've been doing our best to train fisheries officers, entrepreneurs, and the aquaculturists themselves in Nigeria.
Moving forward, we look forward to stronger policies, better access to finance and markets, climate-resilient innovations, and continued support to enhance productivity sustainability in Nigeria's aquaculture and fisheries sector.
The engagement also underscored the importance of deploying Nigeria's oceans and waterways to drive inclusive growth and global competitiveness. With the government pushing for economic diversification, the blue economy is now viewed as a strategic frontier to generate revenue and transform Nigeria into a regional maritime hub. Godgift Omone reporting for BeeTv News.
In Asaba, the capital of Delta State, South Nigeria, traditional authorities are taking a bold unusual step to curb drug abuse, cultism, and other social vices in the state. The community is invoking ancestral powers in a bid to restore peace and determination over criminal activity. There are reports on the rare ritual revival meant to send a strong warning to offenders. The report is presented by Esohe Osewige.
In a bold move to restore peace and orderliness, traditional rulers and elders in Asaba community have invoked ancestral powers through a ritual known as Isiofo. Placing curses and cultists and drug peddlers threaten the town. The Odogu of Asaba, Obinwanze Odwa, leads the procession along spiritual leaders and native doctors across the state, visiting key locations to call on the gods for justice.
The penalty is death. Without sympathy or whatever, the penalty should be death. Because if you go planning on how to cause mayhem, if you go planning on how to kill another innocent person, I mean, whatever you wish on another, that you shall get. Like Asaba will always say, Asaba, we don't have gold or silver, we don't have oil or whatever. What we have going for us is peace. And once we let go of that peace, Asaba will be gone.
At Oboak Square, the Asaba of Asaba, His Royal Majesty Professor Epifani Azinje, commends the effort and wants criminals to repent or face consequences beyond human control.
We now have additional work to do. We need to secretly follow the drug users among our children to identify where they are obtaining the drugs. They are breaking the law, violating the regulations of our country, state, and community by peddling drugs. Drugs have destroyed many of our children. Additionally, it is crucial to ensure peace, as it is essential for the development of our community.
Oshimili South Council Chairman Dr. Obi Kelvin Ezeyinli pledges continued support and announced plans to establish a National Drug Law Enforcement Agency office in the council to strengthen enforcement.
Every initiative that has to do with us benchmarking and checkmating insecurity in the Oshimili South consider the local government in 100% support.
With traditional rulers and local authorities working together, Asaba sends a strong message. Peace must prevail and crime will not go unpunished. Time will tell how effective the ancestral intervention will be. Sohe Osemege reporting for BeeTv News.
Let's turn our attention now to the U.S., where President Donald Trump's huge budget bill is heading for a final vote in the U.S. House of Representatives, but it's delayed while a Democratic-led debate continues. Democratic Minority House Leader Hakeem Jeffrey has been speaking for more than 7 hours, and the magic minute means there is no limit for how long he can speak. The sprawling bill is critical to President Trump's agenda and has sparked internal debate. Cashew farmers, processors, and marketers are calling on the federal government to introduce a policy mandating that at least 40% of Nigeria's raw cashew nuts can be processed locally. The report.
Cashew remains Nigeria's second largest non-oil export crop after sesame. According to the Nigerian Export Promotion Council and other traded sources, the country earns over $500 million annually from exporting raw cashew nuts, mainly to Vietnam and India. However, with improved local processing capacity, stakeholders believe this figure could exceed $1 billion through value-added products such as cashew, kernels, butter, and oils. Yet much of the sector's potential remains untapped. At those pre-summit engagements held in the lead-up to the Nagora National Cashew Cooperative Summit, stakeholders are pushing for policies that will transform the industry and unlock its full economic value.
Every year, as I speak with you, because we are not processing, as I speak with you, the raw nut has been exported. So that's one. Two, financing. Government should also support, make a policy on financing the cooperatives.
The National Cashew Cooperative Summit is expected to serve as a platform for solution-building policy alignment and a roadmap to position Nigeria's cashew sector for sustainable growth and global competitiveness.
Producers has to be identified and sensitized to come together and register as a cooperative body. So by so doing, they can have that recognition to be supported by government, and also it becomes easier for them to contribute resources.
Stakeholders are optimistic that the summit will bring about renewed collaboration, clear policy direction, and increased investment in Nigerian cashew sector. Gosgift Omone reporting for BeeTv News.
The National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party says the party is still intact despite the campaign of the former presidential candidate of the party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and others who joined the ADC. Acting National Chairman of the party, Umar Damagun, stated this while briefing journalists in Abuja. BeeTv News' Esohe Oseriye completes the report.
Briefing journalists, the acting national chairman of the PDP, Umar Damagun, said the PDP is very much intact despite the defection of some key and prominent leaders and members of the party who have now formed the ADC coalition. He said, despite the intimidation and harassment of their members, the 2027 election will tell. He said, because the country is faced with hunger, insecurity, and arbitrary extortion of Nigerians, there are more than overwhelming, and Nigerians deserve to be happy.
The next meeting scheduled for 23rd, 24th, and 25th is still hold. To our members, I want to bring good tidings that your party is very, very intact.
The PDP acting national chairman also said people should be allowed to say their mind and policy should be people-oriented. He said PDP is the only party that have the keys to solving the issues bedeviling the country, while wishing Atiku and others good luck in their newfound political parties. Umar Damangum said he has no doubt that all those who have left will soon run back to the party.
Law-abiding citizens, we deserve to be heard. For democracy to strive, people say their mind, people should be listened to, and policies should be people's oriented.
On Wednesday, a large number of PDP, APC and Labour Party dumped their parties to form a coalition with the ADC. Sohe Osemeke reporting for BeeTv News.
You are still watching BeeTv News. While we go on a short break, we'll be right back.
It's finally here, the day we've all been waiting for. The coronation ceremony of His Royal Majesty Michael Eshoronoya Olonufemi Sado, the Okwelagbe of Okwela Kingdom. Join us live on July 5th, 2025 at the Abeba Primary School, Okube, Okwela, Edo State, as we witness the coronation ceremony of our King, His Royal Majesty Engineer Michael Eshoronoya Olonufemi Sado, the Okwelagbe of Okwela Kingdom. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Senator Monday Okpebolo, Executive Governor of Edo State. Signed, High Chief Hansen Aimofume, Chairman Planning Committee. For inquiries, call 0803-360-7379. Barrister Akuri Afegwa, Palace Secretary. Long live the King. Our glory is back.
And now moving to the global scenes, where Russia launched a record overnight assault on Kyiv, firing 515 drones and 11 missiles, with 72 drones breaching Ukraine's air defenses. Also, American teen pilot has been detained on small island in Antarctica. BeeTv News correspondent Harmony Agbafor has more on this from the global scenes.
Russian forces launched a massive overnight attack on Kyiv, firing a record 550 drones and 11 missiles, with 72 drones breaching Ukrainian air defenses. The strikes hit almost every district of the capital, injuring at least 23 people and damaging infrastructure, including schools, railways, and the Polish embassy. The attack followed a phone call between US President and Russian President Vladimir Putin, after which Trump expressed disappointment at Putin's unwillingness to end the war. Ukrainian President Zelensky condemned the attack and urged for increased international pressure on Russia. Meanwhile, Kyiv is concerned over the US decision to halt some critical weapons shipments. 19-year-old American pilot Ethan Guo was detained by Chilean authorities on Antarctica's King George Island after flying there without proper authorization. He allegedly submitted a false flight plan indicating he would remain over Punta Arenas, but instead flew to the island, triggering alert protocols. Guo faces charges under Chile's aeronautical code and may have violated the Antarctic Treaty. He had landed at Teniente Marsh Airport in freezing conditions. Guo is attempting to become the first person to fly solo to all 7 continents in a small Cessna 182, while also raising $1 million for cancer research. His journey has gained over 1 million followers online. Sudan has been in a civil war since April 2023, sparked by a power struggle between the army led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, led by General Mohammed Hemedti Dagalo. Over 150,000 people have died and 12 million have been displaced in what the UN calls the world's worst humanitarian crisis. The RSF controls much of Darfur and Western Sudan, while the army holds the north and east, including Port Sudan. The conflict has caused famine and widespread destruction, especially in Khartoum and El Fasher. The RSF has been accused of genocide against non-Arab groups in Darfur, including mass killings and sexual violence. The US has officially recognized these acts as genocide and imposed sanctions on both generals. Attempts at peace talks have failed, with global response and aid efforts seen as insufficient. Sudan's economy has collapsed and humanitarian support has dwindled, worsening the crisis. 2 female tourists, including a British pensioner, were killed by a charging elephant in Zambia's South Luangwa National Park. The incident occurred when a female elephant protecting her calf attacked a walking safari group. Tour guides tried to stop the elephants by firing shots, but both women were trampled and died at the scene. The victims had been staying at Big Lagoon Camp. Zambian authorities warned tourists to exercise extreme caution, especially around nursing elephants. Similar fatal elephant attacks involving elderly tourists occurred in Zambia last year. And that is all from the global scenes. Harmony Agba for reporting for BeeTv News.
Nigeria's singer Ricardo Banks has expressed uncertainty about his previously announced wedding plans with the mother of his child. The development comes 2 months after he made this intention public during an earlier interview. Also, Afrobeat star Stanley Omar Didia, known professionally as Omale, has made a public declaration positioning himself as the greatest musician of his generation. Let's now have more details from the entertainment world.
Speaking during his latest appearance on TVC's interview with Esther Oye, the artist revealed a shift in his emotional readiness, stating that he is no longer confident about the future of the relationship. He attributed the change in stance to his evolving personal experience and emotional intelligence, which he admitted is still developing. Ricardo Banks and his partner welcomed a baby boy in November 2024. The latest update casts doubt on the timeline of or possibility of an upcoming marriage as earlier anticipated. In another development, Omale declares himself greatest of his generation. The statement was made on his official X handle, where the artist expressed belief in his future influence within the global music industry, despite acknowledging a current lack of measurable proof. This public assertion aligns with previous comments made by the artist in 2024 during an interview with the Beat FM London, where he described himself as a leader of the new Afrobeat wave and credited himself with pioneering a distinct sound. Omale continues to gain international recognition with hit tracks and maintains a strong following among Afrobeats fans worldwide. Renowned Nigerian author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie has advised young women to approach marriage with discernment, highlighting the significant impact a partner can have on a long-term personal outcomes. Speaking at a recent event, which was later shared via Instagram, Adichie emphasized the importance of selecting a kind and supportive life partner. She noted that a thoughtful choice in marriage can lead to personal peace and success, while a rushed or pressured decision could have negative consequences. Drawing from her personal experience, Adichie reiterated that a healthy relationship foundation contributes positively to one's broader life journey. Her comments align with her ongoing advocacy for gender equity, informed decision-making, and personal empowerment. Benin's singer and multiple Grammy Award winner Angelique Kidjo has become the first African artist to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The honor was conferred in recognition of her contributions to global music, cultural exchange, and humanitarian advocacy. The unveiling ceremony in Los Angeles was attended by members of the international music community, public officials, and supporters from various countries. The milestone reflects decades of artistic excellence and cross-cultural impact by the veterinary musician. Throughout her career, Kidjo had blended traditional African rhythms with jazz, funk, and Latin influences. Beyond her music, She is known for her long-standing activism in areas such as women's rights, education, and social justice. The Hollywood Chamber of Commerce acknowledged her achievements as part of the selection process, stating that her star represents both artistic accomplishment and global influence. Her recognition comes at a time when African artists continue to gain prominence on the international stage. And that is it from the entertainment world. Gosgift Omone reporting for BeeTv News.
And now moving to the world of sports. Former Super Eagles goalkeeper Peter Rufai has reportedly died after a battle with a prolonged illness. The news of Rufai's passing comes after the football world was thrown into mourning following the tragic death of Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva in a car crash. Let's now join BeeTv News' Freeman Osawe, who has more on these and other sports stories.
Rufai's death is a big loss to the Nigerian football community, regarded as one of Nigeria's best goalkeepers. Rufai made 65 appearances for Nigeria's main national team from 1983 to 1998. He was the first Nigerian goalkeeper to play for the senior team at the FIFA World Cup, helping the golden generation to reach the second round of the 1994 World Cup. Rufai was also in goal for the Super Eagles at the France 1998 World Cup, where the then two-time African champions were knocked out by Denmark in the round of 16. Peter Rufai provides solution to Super Eagles goalkeeper problem. He was also part of the Super Eagles squad that won the Africa Cup of Nations in 1994 at the club level. Rufai started his career with the defunct stationery stores, but before moving to Europe to play for clubs like Lokeren, Beveren, Go Ahead Eagles, Farense, Deportivo La Coruna, and G. Vicente. Adidas and Lads donates 200 footballs to support grassroots football in Lagos schools, demonstrating their shared commitment to youth empowerment, gender inclusion, and grassroots sport development. Adidas and its strategic partner, Lads, have donated 200 Adidas footballs to schools across Lagos State. The donation, made in collaboration with the Lagos State Sports Commission, will benefit 20 schools across the state with an equitable distribution between male and female teams. This initiative is a bold statement in support of inclusive participation in school sports, regardless of gender. To officially mark the donation, Dave Thomas, CEO of Adidas Global Energy Market, presented a symbolic football to the governor of Lagos State during a courtesy visit. The gesture underscores Adidas' commitment to supporting government-led efforts in youth and sport development across Nigeria. I want to score goals. Oshuala fires warning ahead of WAFCON. As the countdown to the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations intensifies, Super Falcons star Asisat Oshuala has made her intentions clear that she is in Morocco to score goals and help Nigeria reclaim their continental crown. The tournament, which kicks off in July 5, will see Nigeria begin their campaign a day later on July 6 with a group stage clash against Tunisia. The Falcons will then face Botswana and Algeria in their bid to secure a top spot in the group. Oshuala, who now plays for BFC in the United States, returned as one of the most experienced players in the squad and one of the most decorated African footballers of all time. And that's in the sport news. Freeman Osawe reporting for BeeTv News.
And that is the size of our news package for tonight. Many thanks for joining us on BeeTv Major News at 6. I am Gosgift Omone. Have a good night.